Hi guys! Today I'll be showcasing the CSB single column wide margin Bible in the Holman Handcrafted Collection in black goatskin leather. Alright, so previously they came out with their first premium Bible, which was the CSB verse by verse wide margin Bible. But during that time, it did not have the Holman Handcrafted Collection brand. So after they came out with that Bible, they rebranded it to the Holman Handcrafted Collection. And even the previous CSB verse by verse wide margin Bible already had the new ones that came out after it, specifically the brown goatskin leather, already has this new Holman Handcrafted Collection rebranding. Alright, so however, for some reason, which I don't know, they still have not updated the box or the branding of the black goatskin leather. Maybe someday they would, maybe they won't. I don't know. But anyway, let's get to this Bible. So this one comes in a two-piece dark blue box, and this box is really nice. So on the side it says CSB Holman Handcrafted Collection, single column wide margin, and it's the black goatskin leather. All right, you can see that. There you go. At the back, you can see the back of the box says that the features include goatskin leather cover, single column text, wide margins, footnotes, black letter text, 10.5 point font. But to my eyes, it seems like an 11. But anyway, later on we will see it. It's very, very readable. It has Smithsonian edge line binding, high quality Bible paper, art gilt page edges. It's actually red under gold. 3 ribbon markers, durable 2-piece box, a concordance, presentation page, and full color maps. All right, so here's the top side of the box. Here's the other side. There you go. And the bottom of the box. Now it's time to put this away. Let's now focus on the Bible. So this Bible is actually a tank. All right. The CSB single column wide margin Bible is built like a tank. It is so thick and it's heavy too. So as you can see here, it has gold or gilded page edges, and it also has art gilding. It's red under gold. So you can see it there. Can you see it? There. It's red under gold. And in the spine, it says CSB, Holy Bible, Christian Standard Bible, and the Holman logo. At the back, you can see the back here, it's actually blank, as with all premium Bibles. And this one measures at about, let's check it out. Let's measure it. Here. I'm measuring it with the cover. So this is a little over 7 inches by a little over 9.5 inches. All right. Let's open up the Bible. Oh, but before we open up the Bible, we can see here that there is a perimeter stitching all around. And you can notice that the goatskin cover is very nice, and it has a pronounced grain. It's fairly consistent. Look at that grain. And compared to the CSB verse by verse wide margin Bible, the leather of this one seems different. It's a bit more stiff. Yeah, it's stiffer than the verse by verse. Unlike the verse by verse, which I could easily roll up like a pita bread or a chapati or a shawarma wrap, this one I couldn't do it so much. Yeah, so that's all I can do with this one. Okay, so let's open it up. So we can see here that it has a perimeter gilt line all around framing the text block. It has a leather liner, which is, I think this is cowhide or calfskin, not sure which. And the most important thing with premium Bibles is that it is edge lined, meaning that the liner, the leather liner, is stabbed into the text block. And unlike most premium Bibles, wherein the first two pages can be separated, because usually the tab would be glued up to around 1/4 or even half of the page. What Holman does is they go the extra mile. Okay, they glue the whole page. They glue them together, the entire pages. So it's like this whole thing is glued together. All right. So it's just like one thick vinyl cardstock. So it can be separated. It's amazing. Okay. So after that, we have the presentation page. As you can see, I already filled it up. This came from my friend, my former classmate. He's a medical doctor in the US. And then we go to the first title page. You can see here that the title of this Bible, it was printed in a nice dark red ink. All right, it says single column wide margin Bible. Then we go to the second title page. Now it has the CSB logo, the Christian Standard Bible, Holman Bibles, and other stuff. And it has the same marking, single column wide margin Bible, but this time we can see that there's this nice flower design. All right, so let's turn the page. On the next page, we have the copyright page. Now, this is one of the most important pages in the Bible. As you can see, let me raise that up. As you can see, this one has the updated 2020 text. Now, where I am, I'm based in the Philippines. The 2020 updated CSB text isn't available yet in the Philippine market. So, yeah, fortunately, as I've said, I got this from my friend from the US. And he brought this with him when he came and visited. So, yeah, and this one was printed in China, for those asking. And then we have the table of contents. So this one was printed in 2021. So first printing, the year 2021. Then we have the introduction to the Christian Standard Bible. Now, if you haven't read the introduction to the Christian Standard Bible, or any Bible for that matter, if you're reading a new translation, I highly recommend that you read the introduction or the preface or whatever they would call it, because these things give you an introduction or an overview of the Bible and its translation philosophy, how they translated certain words. And knowing these things will help you understand the text of the Bible that you're reading better. Okay, so it goes on. See it here, it says, it even tells us how the names of God are translated. That's why it's very important to read these things. Then after that, we have the commonly used abbreviations in CSB Bibles there. Then we have the Old Testament title page. As you can see, there's also this, it's also printed in the nice dark red ink. And again, there's this little flower design. Then we now go to the first page of the Bible, which is Genesis, all right? As you can see, even though this is a thick Bible, even though it's a tank, it's so heavy, and yet, in Genesis chapter 1, it opens up well. I wouldn't say it lies flat, but anyway, we can give it a little push here. But yeah, that's the best that it can do, or we can put it back there. Well, if you do it like this, even without pressing on the other side or on the cover, you can already read it well. And as you can see, this one has a nice, crisp, bold, highly readable text. As it said in the box, it has a 10.5 point font print, and it is a single column text. The good thing about single column Bibles is that it is ideal for long periods of reading. So if you're on a desk or you have a book stand, you can prop it up there and go and enjoy the Word of God as much as you can. Just devour it, because these kinds of designs, these kinds of formats or layouts were really meant to be for long readings. Most probably. There. So we can see here that the chapter numbers are also printed in the dark red ink. Same thing with the verse numbers. The verse numbers are also in red. Likewise, with the verse indications on the footnotes. They are also printed in red. Let's go to the next page. So the entire thing, look at that, it's very nice. Now let's open up to the middle, somewhere in the prose section. We're in the book of Judges. You can see that it is a single column, paragraph format, non-red letter. There's no red letters in the New Testament text. Okay, so the chapter headings are printed in all caps in black ink. The book titles on the top upper right page are also printed in dark red. Same with the page numbers. Let's now go to the poetic section. All right. Now look at that. Look at that. So this Bible was printed with the poetic setting. So the good thing about single column Bibles is that the poetic sections are not cramped. They can really print the whole thing, the verses. And this one separates the stanzas. So it's very nice. When you're reading the Psalms in a single column format, it just really gives it a different feeling. How about Proverbs? Let's go to Proverbs. Same thing. All right. Check it out. Can you see it well? Okay. Isaiah. Let's now go to the New Testament. So there's the book of Mark. As you can see here, and I mentioned earlier that the New Testament and the Gospels do not print the words of Christ in red. So it's all black letter text, except for the parts that I mentioned a while ago. And here we can also see that just with the old CSB, the 2017 CSB, quotes from the Old Testament are printed in bold letters. So whenever you see this in the CSB, remember, when you see bold text, it means, in the New Testament at least, it means that these are quotes from the Old Testament. All right. Let's go to Romans. Look at that. So let's now go to the book of Revelation. So after the book of Revelation, you'll see here, go to the last page. So Revelation 22, the last page of the Revelation, is at page 1855. And then there's a blank page, and after that, a table of weights and measures. After the table of weights and measures, we have the CSB Concordance. All right, so the CSB Concordance is printed in a 3-column format. Now, the font, even though the font of the Bible text itself is highly readable, the text of the concordance is it's quite small. That's why if you want to read it, it would be better if you use a magnifying lens or magnifying glass. I think I have one with me. So if your eyes are not that good, if you're not that young anymore, or perhaps even if you're young but you really have eye problems, then I would recommend you getting a magnifying lens so you'll be able to read it better. Okay, so after the concordance goes on for a few pages, not a few but actually a lot, we now then have the CSB. Well, before the maps, we have a few blank Bible pages on Bible paper there. So after the concordance, we have 1, 2, 3 times 2, so 6 blank pages before we get into the CSB maps. Now, the CSB maps are really, really nice. They are printed on not cardstock, not glossy cardstock, but on somewhat thick, not a Bible paper, but it's a thicker kind of paper, a thick matte paper. So it doesn't hurt your eyes, there's no glare. And if you notice, these new maps, I noticed that these maps are different from the old CSBs. So these maps are better. The color isn't that bright, but they're really colorful, and the detail is very nice. If you want to look at it closer, there you go. Look at that. Okay, all right. So it has the different kinds of maps from the different periods of Israel in the Old Testament and even in the New Testament. Oh, this is me. I inserted the discipleship journal Bible reading plan. So I printed this out. So if you want to take a look at it, I printed out this Bible reading plan, and I inserted it in all my Bibles, well, all my large ones at least. So it's a 1-year reading plan. This is actually one of the most famous or popular Bible reading plans available. Of course, there are many Bible reading plans, but this is one of the crowd favorites. So I just leave it there for future use. Of course, I have the file on my laptop. I can print it anytime. So anyway, going back. After that, we have the end sheets, which is just like the first one, is totally, as a whole, entirely glued to the cardstock, to the last cardstock. So, by the way, that one, the edge lining, helps improve and strengthen the binding of the Bible. This means that it will last you a longer time. Unlike paste down liners, which are not fabbed, especially the paper ones, they tend to get broken on the hinge, especially with lots of use, with time. They would normally break here, and with the cover would tend to separate, but not with edge-line Bibles. Of course, it can still happen, but it would really take a longer time, and if you take good care of it, it can last you a lifetime or even more. These are heirloom stuff, you know. That's why you get what you pay for in getting a premium Bible. So in the back cover, we have the continuation of the the gilt line. Gold gilt line is, yeah, I read it somewhere that it is actually redundant. But anyway, that's what we use. And it says here, goatskin leather cover. As for the ribbons, let's go back to the ribbons. Now, this is one improvement that they did from the previous premium CSBs that came out, specifically the CSB verse by verse wide margin. As you can see, they improved the ribbons. They made it a bit wider. This comes with 3 ribbons, a red and gold and a black. So they changed the ribbons to wider ribbons, and this is double-sided satin. All right, so that's it. If you have any questions, just put them in the comment section, in the comment box. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and share the video to your friends. All right, again, this is Terrence, and now you know, and knowing is half the battle. God bless.